Alright y'all, welcome to the Common Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out something from the Swedish Armed Forces. Now, this one is pretty insane. I don't think we've checked out anything quite like this on the channel as far as like one specific event and the amount of like physical exhaustion you can equate to it. This is their Jaegers doing a 500-kilometer march through the Arctic Circle. And I mean, 500 kilometers is a little over 300 miles. Doing a movement like that is insane. Just, you know, how exhausting it's going to be, the amount of strain and just like brutality your body's going to feel for a movement like that is insane. I can't even imagine. The most I've done is, I mean, 26 miles, I think is the longest I've done. So this is over 10 times that amount, which, oh my gosh, I don't know how my feet would survive. But you know, outside of that, just being 500 kilometers, you have to consider the logistics of like bringing your food. And then also just, it's in the Arctic Circle, like the most like unforgiving sort of climate you can imagine. So the equipment already needs to be like very on point, which is, you know, it's going to be a lot of layers. It's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to need to drag. With like it being this cold, you need to have certain rations. You need to have them, you know, actually be kind of like weatherproofed, or you know, rations that won't be impossible to eat in that sort of environment. You need to carry all that or move all that to be able to get the resupplies, I guess, for that, if they do have that as an option. But again, like they're also, as the Jaegers, they're not just kind of like going along a road or kind of like a trail. They're going through the crappiest terrain possible, the crappiest weather possible. So this is going to be very humbling, I would say, to the very least. It seems like they're also moving in a pretty small team, but this was very highly requested, so I want to check it out because I'm sure you guys have, a lot of y'all have already seen it. Just like reading the title, I kind of understand why it's very different from stuff that we've checked out. So I'm excited, should be a good one. Let's get into it. That is
Orionpatrullen är en
so
liten uppgiftsanpassad enhet som har till uppgift att ta sig långt bakom fiendens linje, genomföra ett inhämtningsuppdrag och sen leda in stridsflyg från flygvapnet.
So I wonder
att förstöra ett av
what kind
fiendens
of
högvärdiga mål. De är
I wonder what kind of equipment they're moving with then.
Under hela genomförandet och måste bära med sig allt de kan behöva.
Like demolition equipment too, or simulated stuff.
Försöksutrustning som vi ännu inte vet hur den fungerar i den här miljön. Det pågående kriget i Ukraina visar tydligt att det transparenta slagfältet är mer aktuellt än någonsin. Och även vi på K4 behöver vi tänka över våra metoder, våra taktik.
Damn, that's cool. They're like future-proofing their operations.
Inte nyttja leder, vägar eller stugor. Det är en taktik att välja.
It's one thing for a military to kind of like train on what they deem as like relevant currently, like what they're seeing, the kind of like climate, the military tactics even of that day and age. It's kind of one thing to address that and kind of be prepared for that, but to kind of like future-proof your operations, especially like game planning for equipment that you're trying to get or that you might have in the future, or, you know, that the enemy might have. It's kind of interesting to see them dedicate so much just to address something like that, like kind of like a hypothetical. A lot of people won't want to do it, but to actually do it sets you up significantly better. But again, it's you know, you're kind of like risking it for the biscuit because warfare changes dramatically. And although you might kind of like game plan something, warfare could look completely different like 5 years down the road.
Terrängpartier som är svåråtkomliga där fienden inte tror att vi framrycker. Så att snarare välja de jobbiga, svåra partierna, den dåliga väderleken snarare än de goda förutsättningarna. Det blir framgång för oss.
That's what we did in the recon as well. We just went through the shittiest terrain possible because we knew that the enemy wouldn't want to hang around there. They wouldn't want to do their patrols through that. They get complacent, and this is all about like exploiting that complacency.
Då är vi igång med den här uppgiften där vi ska vara ute i 3 veckors tid. Tanken är att vi
3
ska ta
weeks. Wow.
minst 30 mil, men sannolikt längre.
So what, 21
Pulkarna vi
days?
startar med då,
300, oh my gosh. So 300 divided by roughly 20 days. So they're going over 10 miles a day, what, 13, 14 miles a day or something, which by itself, you know, you could do 13 miles in a day, sure. But to do that for 3 weeks straight every single day, I mean, obviously there's going to be days where they're going to try and push further depending on the weather and how, you know, that's actually working. And there might be some days where they have to cut it short depending on the weather or their equipment or something. But you have a time hack and you have a long distance to cover. So you kind of just have to like send it. And that is just brutal. You need some really, really physically fit people to do something like this. I mean, even as like a challenge in the military, you're not going to see distances even close to this.
100 kilo i kombination med den
Let alone the
utrustningen
terrain.
på oss. Det är ungefär 40 kilo mat. Vi kommer förbränna mycket energi. Vi räknar med
40 kilos of food.
6,5
Like 100 pounds or something?
per dag. Kylan och den fysiska ansträngningen
Wow.
kommer ju sannolikt göra att vi går ner i vikt.
They're going to be eating a lot, huh?
30-35 kilo grupputrustning, vapen, ammunition, sprängdeg, radiomateriel.
Damn,
och sen
dude.
ungefär 25 kilo person.
And I'm sure they're packing light too. In the recon, you tend to pack lighter to be a little bit more like uncomfortable. But for this, you got to survive too. It's not just about comfort, it's about survival. And you need to pack a lot more equipment for that alone. Hell yeah. I can't imagine they'd be sleeping too good either. Say day 6 and they're 106. Really? Damn. Holy cow. Spirits seem pretty good. I mean, in what we can see with the footage. I'm sure there were some moments where the spirits were not very good. Most of it.
Under den här marschen kommer vi stöta på väldigt många olika terrängtyper. Det är högfjällsterräng, snårig björkskog, till del öppna vattendrag som
really
tar sig
thick
över,
forest too, huh?
isreka, där vi har med oss utrustning för att exempelvis kunna sänka och hissa pulker i väldigt branta partier.
Oh my
och
gosh, the mountaineering
ta sig an andra
skills
typer
too.
av utmaningar i terrängen.
That's cool. So that's the tactic, you put the ski in. How come they don't just like go behind it and push it up? I'm gonna ask ignorant questions because I'd like the answers that y'all provide, but
Vi massage i bastun sen.
that sauna is gonna feel amazing.
Här inne tar vi hand om varandra.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Help each other out. Help out the bros. I want to try one of those mesh base laders. I know that y'all swear by them over in the Nordic countries.
Ja, värsta tiden på dagen här.
That sounds horrendous. Oh my god, the frozen
Benhårda
boots.
kängor. Omöjligt att torka. Morgon på minus 20 här. Typ
Got the frozen mustache
i
too.
dem här.
It might be salt and pepper, it might just be gray hair, but I'm gonna assume everything is just frozen at this point.
Ja, lite kallare dag idag.
Day 13, 260, so they're over halfway day-wise. Damn, so they gotta pick it up. Oh my gosh.
Lämnar vi fjällvärlden bakom oss. Ja, vi är nere i skogslandet. Direkt lite tyngre spårsnö.
Oh, that sounds like trash.
Ja, här slutar det på brant.
Oh, that looks like trash.
Slutat av skidorna.
To think the amount of miles or kilometers on their feet already,
Nerför dödsbacken till Torneträsk.
and they're still just sending it.
Dags
The
att
hell with
spränga
that.
järnväg.
Oh, this is cool. At least they have like some distractions, like little missions en route.
En av typuppgifterna
That's
som
cool.
vi som jägarförband har är att förstöra för fienden viktig infrastruktur.
I mean, like with this, yeah, security can stay pretty minimal, they're not going to expect anybody to be anywhere around here.
Under en fjärrpatrull där man har
What is this
begränsat
actually going to
med
do? I imagine it's
externa
not
resurser
actually going to
vill vi
blow
in i
up.
det sista undvika att
That's
hamna
cool to
i
simulate.
sammanstöt. Därför är exempelvis förstörelse av en obevakad järnvägssträcka ett väldigt bra mål som skapar stor effekt.
Yeah, no doubt. When you start messing with like critical infrastructure, that's going to shut down not just like a battle or a unit. It's going to shut down like a whole front.
Ja, det är den och så är det...
Vänta, tog inte jag?
They got like a little snow shell.
Ja, det är här borta hos mig här. Ja, drickbuljong i, det börjar man sälta upp lite också.
Everything with any sort of heat is just like creating this like smoke.
Som har preppat här. Och som har haft en klick smör och som blev sparvar.
Oh, they got butter. Nice. That's the move.
Vilken jävla festmåltid.
Oj, och så extra mycket. Oj.
Yeah, just throw it in there. I mean, you got to get your calories. That is a lot. That's like
Chicken tomato sauce with pasta alla Svenny.
that's like 2 times the amount of calories that people get in a day. More than that.
Sovsäcken är lite wet kondens.
Oh my god, that's the worst. Everything is just
Jag kör lite
soaked.
rutin här med... Försöker torka trasan när man tinar upp det, sätter sig på morgonen.
Oh,
Man
interesting.
känner det börjar vara såna här frostklumpar nu i sovsäcken här.
Precis.
Huh. That's kind of cool. I never even considered that. I just put my like wet sleeping bag in there, but I'm not trying to have like all that moisture freeze.
Ska vi dokumentera
Am I beautiful?
fältfacet här? Lite gula blåsor.
Oh my god.
Wowie. Snyggingar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all the rage in the Arctic Circle. Shows that they're putting in the work.
Just det.
Vad är det för idé vi har fått här?
Om jag ändå ska skida 40, vi kommer ha tid att skida 45. Då smakar 50 bättre i munnen. Det hade varit fint. Det är en bättre siffra.
Oh yeah, that's the spirit. Oh my god. Breaking brush is one thing, but to do it in like the Arctic Circle, fuck that.
Rekar. På åsen.
I'm sure obviously there's some points wherever you are where you're like, we can kind of drop the tactical movements because at this point we just need to get through this brush or we're going to lose our sanity. That's happened a lot in the recon. You don't care about the noise anymore. You just, or even the light discipline. You get that red lens out and you just start breaking.
Våra Hannes.
Jo då, försökte på lite här. Upp och
Leda in JAS.
leda lite in JAS och
Hell
joxa med
yeah.
samband.
Det blir kul.
Det är kul om det funkar.
It'll be fun. People couldn't even imagine doing that. Not just civilians, but other people in the military.
Under det här tillfället så leder vi in flyg, en av huvuduppgifterna under Operation Orion. Vi finns på platsen för att bekräfta det högvärdiga målet så att flyget kan göra jobbet.
Nice. I wonder if they're gonna get actual Gripens to fly in. Well, that answers that. That is cool. To be that pilot and to be like, oh, these guys have been sucking for like 2 weeks already. That's pretty cool. I mean, you can expect, and you kind of see it with like the more high profile units, you get some pretty nice support for these like training events or simulated missions. I mean, as they should. I mean, these guys are doing all the work. Like, you're not asking the pilots too much to just kind of fly a little sortie or something. What was he cranking there? If you guys know. Day 19. Oh my gosh, 417. So it looks like it's gonna be over 3 weeks. A little over. What is that? I'm so curious. You got it attached to a tree? If you guys know, definitely help me out. It's super cool to like learn what these pieces of equipment are, which are so alien to me. Obviously, I haven't worked much in this kind of environment. Is it cutting the tree down to use as like firewood or something? Not the frozen snot. Then they even got a... Oh my gosh.
Everybody
Ugh.
wants to be a ranger medic. So it's time to do ranger medics.
Jaha, grabbar.
Give me that blister.
Sista kvällen. Har ni tänkt på det?
Några gånger.
Vad är era
Once or
reflektioner?
twice.
Det är bland annat att man slipper sörväs till höger om sig. Nej. Alltså Oskar Silvergran.
Say Sir
Och så
Hiss.
slipper man Hannes som ligger 5 centimeter från ansiktet och kurar ihop sig liksom och bara närma sig.
Okay,
Till slut så
I'm
ligger
gonna
han
need...
liksom
Passar det
i
verkligen?
en sked så.
I'm gonna need some explanation on what he's
So-
talking about. He's talking about just
nej,
like
jag kommer
exhaustion,
fatta
like
det.
sleep, creeping up on you. It's so cool how they build this, the shelters and stuff.
blir typ det värsta.
Then they're over 500
Bara
now.
bygger Kramsnöberg, bara klabbar. På bra humör.
Ja.
Tänkte vi var home safe, bara 3 kilometer kvar. Det är typ det sugigaste föret. Smällde om efter
Really?
lunch och
Oh my
plus.
gosh.
Tack för det.
I mean, what's 3 kilometers after
Målet med
502?
Operation Orion var ju att vi skulle vara ute i minst
Brutal.
21 dygn då, 22 dagar som det blev. Och vi insåg på slutet när vi närmade oss den tänkta målgången då att vi låg ganska bra till i tid. Så vi bestämde oss för att fortsätta
Those heavy
längs
stomps, dude.
finska
Oh my
gränsen då,
gosh.
tills egentligen tiden var slut då. 500
I'm
kilometer
gonna look at that on the
blev det
map.
i slutändan då, innan vi blev upplockade av övriga delar av förbandet då.
That's got to be such a cool feeling. I hope they get like a massive feast or something. You have to be greeted by like a general after something like that. I mean, there's got to be some pretty big VIPs at the end of that. Holy cow. You're talking about trauma bonding in the military? These guys. They're going to each
Det var
other's
en
weddings and stuff, all that.
Härlig känsla att bara se den här målgången som man hade liksom föreställt sig då under så lång tid. Även om det också är en konstig så här, tomhetskänsla som också infinner sig.
Genius. Huh.
Det
It's
den här
like, yeah,
patrullen
well,
har
we did that.
åstadkommit under de här 3 veckorna, det är enastående och anmärkningsvärt. Det de har uthärdat och styrkan att vara en grupp. Den här teamkänslan.
The body
För det är
just
det
like
som många
stops, all the
söker och som
adrenaline
definitivt var
stops.
kvar i Försvarsmakten.
I mean, I doubt there's any adrenaline left. But holy
Samarbetet
cow.
inom gruppen, det är ju verkligen nyckeln till att lyckas och få vara del av den gemenskapen. Det är ju helt fantastiskt.
Hey, no doubt about
Man
that.
kan ju se det som 3 weeks of hell i kanske 99,9% av befolkningen hade man ju säkert sett det som en sån grej. Men jag tror att den typen av individer som vi är gör ju också att man ser någon form av tjusning i den utmaningen. Vi
Golly.
reflekterade under
Again,
hela
just speaking so
marschen,
humbly on this.
operationen att hur det hade kunnat sett ut i ett verkligt scenario. En skrämmande tanke, men framförallt en stolthet i att kunna få bidra till försvaret av vårt eget land.
I mean, to move like that
K4
far
är
into
ett fåtal
enemy
förband i
territory,
världen som har den här unika förmågan att
that is some
genomföra
very
den här typen av
high-level
operationer
strategic
på
stuff.
Nordkalotten. Jag skulle säga att det här är ett exempel där vi ville pröva och testa vissa saker. Men framtida uppgifter skulle kunna se helt annorlunda ut.
golly, to think that there's people out there that are capable of a movement like that while still like being tactically proficient and capable. Damn. It wasn't just like a, you know, like a, we're going to do this movement through this just because we can. It's like, there's still like the mission part of it. And to keep that mindset to actually get that done too. God damn, that 16 minutes flew by for me. Holy cow. Carlos and Oscar Victor. Yep, you know, this is like one of those pictures that you would like print and frame in your house and just keep it up. That is like a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and a lot of people wouldn't even like imagine doing something like that in their lifetime. I know I wouldn't. Okay, so again, I understand why you guys recommended this one, because holy cow. Again, this is just very unlike anything else that we've checked out. We've checked out a lot of physically demanding things. Like you have commando tests, you have some other tests and exams or events to get into like a special forces kind of unit. But for this to be like this large of a distance with this much equipment through this kind of terrain while still conducting a mission, holy cow. Like, I don't know how you even select somebody for a mission like this. Obviously it needs to be voluntary, but I don't even know how you would like, you know, approach this when you're trying to speak to them about this kind of mission. But to just push yourself and understand that you're capable of doing something like that, that is going to be something that you can remember for the rest of your life by far. Holy cow. I mean, again, it's not just like from a civilian perspective, like it being this insane. From a military perspective, you're going to have a whole lot of respect. You're going to get a whole lot of respect as well, having done it yourself. But you're going to get that respect, and you have to give it, from people who couldn't even imagine, one, like operating in that kind of environment, but doing something like that is, holy cow. Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't operated much at all in any sort of like cold or even like snowy kind of environments. Definitely not the Arctic Circle. So for me, it's not even something I can really wrap my mind around, just not having experienced anything even close to it, or even like a movement close to that. I mean, I've done 26 miles a couple times, but usually like with not that much weight. It also didn't have that kind of importance, like a strategic sort of mission for a military operation. But let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you guys have done anything even remotely similar to this, like distance-wise or just like kind of like movement through this kind of terrain, let me know how it was for y'all. Let me know what the kind of like the most challenging thing was for you guys. Because again, having not operated that much in the kind of cold environments, I'm not able to appreciate how much one specific thing sucks. Like even like moving on skis, I'm not able to appreciate how bad that might suck for a distance like this. But if you guys have some experience, definitely let me know down in the comment section. But a very, very cool recommendation. So definitely keep those recommendations coming. This one was recommended a lot in the Discord. So if you guys want to recommend some stuff, you can go down there, or you can throw some stuff down in the comments section. This is also recommended a lot in the comments. So I do appreciate you guys. It would have been pretty much impossible for me to find this video without those recommendations. So I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I definitely feel humbled. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That is it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.